Good afternoon. I trust everybody's had a very enjoyable summer. We are now into September. The kids are getting back to school. And of course, as we have done many years in the past, we are offering up another client appreciation event. So if you got kids, your neighbors got kids, your friends got kids, or you just want to get out and enjoy yourself, this next Saturday coming up from, I think, believe it's from noon to 3, all the details are going to be posted below. I'm going to throw a couple little snapshots and whatnot. So check out the video and the little flyer in the email below here. And yeah, if you're interested in coming, please just shoot me a quick email and I'll make sure on that registry. I would love to see you guys. So again, if you can even just pop in for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever you want. You're having fun, stick around. If you're not, take off. It's not a big deal. But anyways, all right, I'm just going to give you guys a quick update as to where the market is going. Many of you probably have already heard that the Bank of Canada made their rate announcement earlier this week. And thankfully, once again, they have offered to hold off on raising the interest rate. So June and July, if you recall, we did see a quarter point increase, which is a bit of a bummer because the Bank of Canada had indicated to us back in March no more increases. But then with inflationary numbers coming up, once again, those interest rates have gone up, which of course reflects on the mortgage rates, which plays out into the real estate market. Now, the only thing that's a little disconcerting is what the Bank of Canada had to say as per this article here, and I'll post that down below so you can read it at your leisure, as they did indicate that, hey, it may be necessary for further increases. I really hope not. Getting this call from a lot of clients saying, hey, Dan, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? And clearly, just like everybody else, I do not want the rate hikes. But ultimately, what's going to come down to is the inflationary numbers. As long as they keep creeping up, the Bank of Canada keeps on increasing those rates, just like all the other central banks all across the world. So really, this is a global problem, not just a Canada problem. So we'll see. On the one hand, we're hoping that the real estate will pick back up with the mortgage rates hopefully stalling out. But as many people have told me, just staying flat is not good enough. They want to see those rates start to drop down. But, it is what it is. We'll have to work with what we have. So getting, past that, let's see how these interest rates have impacted us. So the Waterloo Real Estate Association just put out their August update. And as you can see, for the month of August, we had a lot of listing activity. But unfortunately, this did mean that our inventory started to rise. I think a lot of buyers kind of held back a little bit. And it's summertime. A lot of people do take off. So the real question for many of us is this more or less a normal August? Did we just slow down because we always slow down in August? Or was this a more extreme slowdown because of what we've been experiencing with all these mortgage rates? So what I do find very interesting looking at these stats, and again, I'll throw a link to this down below, so if you're interested, you can get into it, is if you look at the year over year valuations, you got single family, townhouse, condo, whatever else. I'm going to look at the single family here, but as you can see, we actually creeped up a little bit for the year. Now, again, take in mind, this is not August numbers. These charts are based on everything that's transpired throughout the year, but our average sale price based on what has sold actually creeped up higher than what we had in 2022, hence the increase there. But you know what? I find that can be a bit of a mislead. It sounds great for those of us who own homes, but definitely for buyers, it's a little bit discouraging. So as is normal here at Peak, we do a regular weekly review of the market. So I just kind of want to share with you some of our stats. Now we do have a quarterly review of all sales types, so inclusive of condos, townhouses, detached homes, whatever else. And right here, kind of at the bottom, I'm going to leave it nice and big, so hopefully this is large enough, or if you have a bigger screen, hopefully you can zoom in and have a look at these stats. But you'll see that our average sale price for this quarter, which we're coming kind of to near the end of the quarter, has started to drop off. So the beginning of the year, we did creep back up. So January, February, March, those 3 months, we did creep back up a little bit from our fall of 2022. And if you recall last year in 2022, we started off the year very, very strong. The Bank of Canada very aggressively increased rates, and we saw it just drop. As you can see here, 12% drop on the second quarter and almost a 13% drop on the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter was kind of flat again from 1 month to the next, and depending on what kind of property I'm dealing with, there's a lot of movement there. But as you see, this year we started to creep back up to the fact that really by the second quarter we were looking at an average sale price of just shy of 806, which is pretty crazy. But once again, we're getting right back to where we were at the beginning of the year and really seeing numbers very close to where we were in 2022. So one thing I really like about here at Peak is that we look at things beyond the macro, the quarterly. We like to look at them right down to even the monthly, or in many cases even the weekly, so we can give our clients a sense of where things are right now. Because we're, to some degree, 3 months ago, doesn't really pertain to where we are at this point in time. So looking back over the last 4 weeks, you can see we've seen a little bit of fluctuation, but for the most part, our prices have been on the drop. 784, 723, 16, and a slight tick up here. And it really comes down to how many sales we had and what did sell that given week. Maybe it was a couple $1 million homes or some cheaper type properties over that time frame. One thing you'll notice is that our inventory definitely seems to be on the rise. Hence, we are looking at an absorption rate of just shy of 9 weeks, which is definitely indicative. What we do typically find that as we get more inventory and they start to sit in the market, the absorption rate increases. We see the prices start to drop down. So it'll be really interesting to see what comes this fall. So yeah, stay tuned. If you have any questions or if you need to sell a home or you want to buy a home, give me a call. The big question will be, what's going to happen if the rates do start to decrease? I don't predict at this point in time we can really talk about decreasing. So this may be a great time for people looking to buy a home because home prices are a little bit down from where they were earlier this year, but clearly based on these charts, they really don't want to drop very quickly. So what will happen most likely, given how tight the inventory is that even if the mortgage rates drop, the prices will probably do the exact opposite and they'll start to go up on you. So for those of you looking to buy a home, perhaps a good time to buy. That being said, on the sell side, we don't have a crystal ball. If we do, it's most likely broken. If you're looking to sell right now, prices are up. The market does seem pretty stable. The economy overall is pretty good, a little bit slower. Depending on your situation, it may be a good time to sell. But the big one I always say is if you have to have a home of your own. So I'm not necessarily talking about, like if you're talking about rental properties, that's a different situation. But it's always a good idea to own a home for the long run there. Now, if it's going to be short term, perhaps just rent. But either way, give me a call. I can definitely show you guys stats, show you the recent sales, and either way, it'd be nice to catch up with you. So wishing you all the best in the fall. Once again, if you have time, come join us this next Saturday. So not Saturday this weekend, but the weekend after. And again, all the details are going to be below. Shoot me an email, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for tuning in. Again, any questions based on what I've just talked to you or shared with you, give me a call. I love to talk about real estate and mortgages and anything else. Take care.